Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 54 of the Drop It podcast. This podcast is tailor-made for those of you with weight to lose, those of you that are losing weight now, and those of you that are bathing in the success of your weight loss accomplishment. If it's your first time on the show, welcome. I'm your host, Nick Geoppo, and 5.5 years ago, I lost 110 pounds after a lifetime of losing weight and gaining it back on every single fucking diet that me, you, or anyone else in the world has ever tried, thought of trying, or heard of. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that most New Year's resolutions are absolute dog shit, which is what we're going to be talking about this episode, since we're going into the new year here in the next 1 or 2 weeks. But before we dive into it, episode 54 is dedicated to my client, Riette. I've been working with Riette for 6 weeks. She's lost 8 pounds, and this is her share for the week. She says, "This is about the time of the year that I start making New Year's resolutions, including losing weight. I'm proud that I'm working on myself mid-December and not eating like someone on death row for the diet to start on January 1st, reminding myself there is no beginning and no end to prioritizing your health." Imagine saying that. Like when I was fat, I couldn't see that at the time because all I wanted to do was lose weight as fast as possible. And this was a great time for me. Even I would start this way of thinking in October or November. Why not just wait until January 1st to start? Because it gave me that excuse to do what I actually wanted to do, which was eat bullshit and not feel bad about it. That was the really big thing. If I wait until January 1st, then I don't have to feel bad about it anymore. So you can see the huge mental shift that Riette has made, which is there is no beginning and no end to prioritizing your health, meaning weight loss is not a goal that you achieve. It is a lifestyle that you adopt. It is a person that you become, the healthy person that you become forever. There's not a date where you hit your weight loss goal and then you just go back to the way things are, where there is, in my situation, for 6 years in a row, and probably for you as well at some point, which is why you're listening to this podcast. If you're interested in working with me and interested in working with Riette in the Common Sense Diet System and in the Drop It community, you can click the link in the description of this podcast episode or in my Instagram bio and fill out the application. Take you about 3 or 4 minutes. And if you qualify, it will take you straight to my calendar to book a call with me and see if it's a good fit for you. If it is, we'll do it together. Episode 54, how to make this your last New Year's resolution ever. Go ahead and pull out a pen, pull out a paper. You're going to want to take some notes. If you're driving, this might be one that you pause and that you come back to when you're not driving or walking. But today we're going to be going through, I'm going to tell you my experience with New Year's resolutions. You're going to relate to probably every single fucking thing that I've ever been through when it comes to New Year's resolutions. And then I'm going to walk you through why New Year's resolutions fail and what you can do to make this one not fail. In my experience with New Year's resolutions, like I said, I would plan on the New Year's resolution and let that be a reason to not take care of myself at the end of the year. And then I would get to the New Year's resolution. This would happen every single time. And my New Year's resolution would be something like, I'm going to go on a diet. And the diet would be something like keto or low carb or just counting all of my calories or like the same kind of shit that I had been starting and restarting and then seeing some success, quitting, reverting for every year from 2013 to 2019. And I would think that somehow, some way, this January 1st was going to be different because I really want it this time, and I'm really serious this time, and I'm really sick of it this time. And then I would get to January 1st, and I wouldn't have a really specific plan. I would have like a loose plan, like here's going to be my diet, here's how many calories I'm going to eat. And I would just either wake up hungover on January 1st, and then just say, fuck it, I'm going to start on January 2nd, and then just never start. Or I would wake up really early on January 1st and be super strict on something for usually 4 or 5 days, in the gym every day, walking every day, playing basketball every day, moving a lot, really drastically under eating to try to lose as much weight in the first week as I could. And then either way, I would quit. I've never had a New Year's resolution that I actually stuck to for more than a week. Ever. I used to lose weight. I'd lose 50 pounds every year, but that was during the summertime. It wasn't with the New Year's resolutions. And the reason why the New Year's resolution never worked for me was because I didn't actually have a plan. And when I did have a plan, it was something that just absolutely sucked and wasn't sustainable. So here's every single reason why New Year's resolutions fail. Some of these you're going to relate to. If you do, pause, write down the reason how you relate to that and how it's failed for you in the past and what we're going to be doing different this year. New Year's resolutions are not inherently bad, right? It's easy for me or anyone else to come on and be like, you'll never do your New Year's resolution. And 99.9% of people don't, right? But there are things, that doesn't mean you can't have goals for the year. You can still have I have goals for 2025. I'm not calling them New Year's resolutions because they're things that I'm working towards right now at the end of 2024. I've already started working on my 2025 goals. A lot of the goals are around this podcast and around helping you and around coaching, around expanding my reach. These are things that I'm doing day in and day out currently, not waiting until January 1st. If I was to take that same fat mindset, be like, I'm gonna keep my goal for 2025. My New Year's resolution for 2025 is to release a podcast episode every single year, every week for the whole year. So 52 podcast episodes. Okay, that is a goal of mine for 2025. But in the past, what I would have done if I had a goal like that around dieting is just stopped releasing podcasts in December and then just gone all in January and then quit. Right? So see the difference. I'm releasing this podcast episode right now. I'm not waiting until January to get in rhythm. I've already established rhythm and I'm continuing to ride and build on the momentum that I've already built for myself. I learned that from losing weight the right way. This is why I say weight loss is the ultimate teacher. Everything that I have learned about social media, about podcasting, about storytelling, about guiding other people through their own weight loss journey, about teaching other people how to work through specific things, how to work through a plateau, how to work through the fat mind, how to overcome resistance, how to do things even when you're not motivated, how to standardize on meals in a way that doesn't suck, how to make your weight loss journey not suck ass. All of these things that I've learned, that I've seen my own success from online and with this podcast, those lessons and the resilience that it took me to build out these systems that all of my clients listen to this podcast, right? That you're now a part of, to the people that I work with. I learned that discipline and that drive and that consistency from weight loss. So that's why I say that weight loss is the ultimate teacher. The things you learn apply to every single thing in life. Let's get back to New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions are not necessarily bullshit, but most people do not follow through on their New Year's resolution. That's why Planet Fitness has such high enrollment at the beginning of the year, and then nobody ever really ends up going. The first reason why New Year's resolutions fail is because you're waiting until January 1st. If you really were serious about something, you would be doing it right now. If you really wanted to launch a podcast in 2025, you would launch a podcast right now. If you really wanted to prioritize your health in 2025, you would start prioritizing your health right now. Again, that doesn't mean you can't have goals around these things in 2025, but you should at the minimum have a specific plan right now or have already started working towards that plan. This idea that you're going to start doing something at a later date, it just typically doesn't happen. They're lies that we tell ourselves because the idea of starting a diet, the idea of losing weight actually feels better than starting the journey. Like the only thing that's better than actually losing weight is thinking about how cool it's going to be when you lose weight, but deep down actually knowing that you've been telling yourself the same lie every single year. Right, and that leads us into number 2. The goal is too daunting. If your New Year's resolution is to lose, insert number here, 50 pounds, 75 pounds, 100 pounds, right? My New Year's resolution is 2025, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. Okay, let's say 50 pounds. In 2025, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. That's really daunting. Like that's a massive goal, right? And when you're in January, in mid-January, it's really hard to connect with this 50-pound goal that you don't need to hit for another 11 months. So why would you even take it that seriously right now? Because you have all this time and the goal's really big. It's overwhelming to think about. The way to do it is to break the goal up into bite-sized chunks, right? So if we're dealing with a specific weight goal, the goal isn't I'm going to lose 50 pounds by December 31st of 2025. The goal is I'm going to practice losing a pound a week the whole year, or a pound and a half a week the whole year. You're going to have weeks where you hit that, when you lose more, weeks when you lose less, weeks when you plateau, when you probably gain a pound from water weight or whatever the fuck, right? But that is such a more digestible goal. My New Year's resolution is to practice losing a pound a week for this year versus my New Year's resolution is to lose 50 pounds. Because you're holding yourself accountable in the day-to-day and into week-to-week instead of letting yourself just get off on the idea of I'm going to do that come the end of December. Then you get to summer, you're not on track, right? Because you haven't really done it. And you're like, well, my New Year's resolution was I got to hit 50 pounds by December. So now you're trying to do it in half the time. You end up undereating, starving yourself to try to get faster results. And then the whole cycle of overeating, undereating, quitting, restarting. You're constantly thinking about it. Have a big goal. That's great to have a major goal. You have to be able to break the goal up into smaller chunks. So doing 1 pound a week is much more digestible than setting a 50-pound goal. Have both at the same time, and the goal won't be so daunting. The third reason why New Year's resolutions fail is because your goal is focused on an outcome. So consider this. Instead of the goal of I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 2025, consider the goal of I'm going to go on a 15-minute walk first thing in the morning every day this year, regardless of how I feel. And I'm going to eat healthier foods in healthier portions this year. And by doing that, I will lose 1 pound a week or 50 pounds in 2025. This is what the common sense diet system is, right? We standardize on meals that fit inside. We call it go-to meals. This is the first rule of the common sense diet is create go-to meals. We standardize on meals that are made of mostly whole and natural foods that fit your calorie goal so that you don't have to count calories anymore. You measure it one time and then you eyeball it, take a picture of it. You make it the same way every time. Now you never have to count any calories. You make only foods that you like, only foods that you can cook in less than 10 minutes so that there's no flavor fatigue. There's no, I don't have time, or there's no, I'm dreading cooking. We just standardize on 2 to 3 different breakfasts, 2 to 3 different lunches, 2 to 3 different dinners. Have your kitchen stocked at all times. Get your groceries delivered instead of going to the store if you have the ability to do that for $5 or $10 more a week. And then do the same thing when you're eating out. Build go-to meals. You have go-to places that you're going already. Find things that fit into your calorie goal. Get the same thing every time. People go, but I don't like eating the same thing every time. But you do eat the same thing every time already. If you were to write down everything you eat right now for the last 2 weeks, you would see the same meals again and again and again. There are, of course, some outliers, but you do have repetitive meals. Those outliers, when you get to the outliers, that's when you just practice the common sense diet system. Eat whole natural foods where you can. If you can't, or you're celebrating something, eat a normal portion size. Adopt that mindset, right? What if your goal is I'm going to live the common sense diet lifestyle? I'm going to live the common sense diet framework. I'm going to start the common sense diet system in 2025. Those sorts of, or whatever system you want to build for yourself, make sure it's something you can do for life, right? But having a goal like that is a lot more tangible, and you can control that in the day-to-day. You can't control fat loss in the day-to-day. You can't control your year 50-pound goal. When it's January 19th, are you really connected with, I want to lose 50 pounds in 2025? No, you're connected with, I'm doing 15-minute walks every day, and I'm starting the common sense diet. I'm prioritizing my health instead of dieting. Like, feel the difference between those things. Set a goal around an action instead of an outcome. You can't control the outcome. The outcome will come from you controlling the action. Life is the 6 inches right in front of your face. Have you ever heard that? That means all that matters is right here, like right now. What are you doing this exact second to prioritize your health? What are you doing today to prioritize your health? Set a goal around action that you can measure day to day, and you'll build that into momentum. Start small and build from there. More on that, the question to ask yourself is, what actions can you take? What is the most that you can do that isn't a pain in the ass or doesn't suck? If I say go on a 30-minute walk every morning, you go, great, I can do that, then do that. But if I say go on a 30-minute walk every morning and you go, fuck that is a pain in the ass, I hate walking. Great, can you do a 4-minute walk every morning? No, can you walk 1 block every morning? Yeah, and just get like really real with yourself, right? Like, this sounds so stupid, but can you walk 1 block in the morning? If the answer is yes, let's do that every day for 2 weeks, and then ask ourselves the next 2 weeks, can we walk 5 minutes? After a month, you'll be like, okay, I can walk for 20 or 30 minutes every morning, because your whole life is going to be way better. That is something that's going to change the way you look at yourself and the way that you look at food. That goal, You would be so much more successful in weight loss if you just had the goal of going on a 10-minute walk every morning and stopped talking about the weight stuff. For just 2 months, you'd lose more weight. You would, because you'd feel better. You'd feel more worthy. You'd feel like a healthy person because you're doing a healthy thing. But instead, we're all caught up in, well, I want to lose 50 pounds in a year. But you said that last year, in the year before. I said that every year from 2013 to 2019. Well, I said 100, right? But, are you really? I can't say no, you're not, because somebody might, right? But are you really? You're the only one that knows the answer. Are you really going to lose? Is this year really going to be different? Or are you just setting the same goal you set before? Might you consider setting a goal that you can control versus a goal that you can't control? Meaning you can't control exactly how much weight you lose. You can control exactly what you do. Feel the difference between those two things. The fifth thing is the reason why New Year's resolutions fail is because you can't do whatever it is you're signing up for forever, meaning it's not sustainable. The reason why my keto New Year's resolutions fail is because I don't want to be keto for the rest of my life. And the way you lose weight typically dictates how sustainable your results are. If you can't do it forever, I strongly recommend not doing it to lose weight. Doesn't mean you can't change things down the road, but focusing on ultra restriction is not something that you're probably going to be able to do forever. Otherwise, you wouldn't be fat right now because you've already tried that. So it's not that these things don't work for anyone. It's that they don't work for you because you've already tried them, and they didn't work for me, and that's okay. The people that they do work for are still on the diet right now. Think about that concept. The people that lost weight on keto, low carb, carnivore, intermittent fasting, they still do that every day. So that dread you feel when you've done those diets, they still exist in that every day. Meaning they don't go to breakfast. They don't go to brunch with their friends. They can't have a glass of wine because of the carbs to celebrate anything, right? They're not going to eat one breadstick at Olive Garden or even go to Olive Garden. What the fuck are they going to eat? So when someone invites them out, they're not able to go. Or they're the people that are like, I can't, I'm keto. Like no one wants to hear that or even be around it, right? A lot of people in that situation are still slaves to their diet. They don't have the freedom from food and the freedom from thought. And people that lose weight in that way still carry fear a lot of the times around gaining the weight back because they don't know if they could be on keto forever and what's going to happen when they start eating carbs again. Fear, terror, horror. Oh my God, the carbs are what made me fat. No, they're not. The calories are what made you fat. The binge eating is what made you fat. Your relationship with yourself is what made you fat. You not addressing the reasons that led to your own obesity, like your childhood trauma and growing up in a fat family, are the things that made you fat. You not addressing your own anxiety and depression are the things that made you fat. You not addressing your lack of self-worth are the things that made you fat. Carbs did not make you fat. Feel the truth in that. If you can't do whatever it is that you're signing up for life, don't do it to lose weight. An extreme example would be juice cleanses. We know we can't do juice cleanses forever, but I'm going to start my New Year's with a juice cleanse. Like, why? So you're going to lose 4 pounds and gain it back in the next week and then feel like shit and then try to forget about it, but you just wasted 2 weeks. For what? Like, for what? But you should have just never even fucking done anything, right? I wish someone said that to me. Like, when you just pause and bring mindfulness in, can you do this forever? I've been in the common sense diet system for 6 years. A version of it, it's evolved over time a bit, but a version of it for 6 years. And I can do this forever because it doesn't require me any mental thought and because I don't have any food noise anymore. So I'm not craving shit. I always know what I'm going to eat when I'm home. When I'm not home, I can navigate social situations with confidence. When I eat shitty food that I used to feel bad about and overeat on, I don't do that anymore because I put myself through a system to change my mindset, my relationship with food, and in turn, my relationship with myself. That's something that I can do forever. That's also something that my clients can do forever as well. And those are things that we're working on every single week. So consider, what can you do forever? If you don't know, start with something and then let yourself change it over time. The next thing is overhauling too much at once. So if your New Year's resolution right now, if you're sitting on the couch eating Domino's pizza, or you're sitting, or you wake up at 7 a.m. to drive the kids to work, and then you go to work yourself, then you come home and pick the kids up from the babysitter, you get home at 6, or take out for everyone at 7:30, you're tired, you watch Netflix, do laundry, it's 9, you get ready for bed and go to bed and you never really move. You're kind of eating like shit all day. This idea that your New Year's resolution, that was me, right? I mean, like, who am I? That was me. I used to just wake up, go to work, come back from work, sit on my ass, smoke weed, maybe hang out with my girlfriend if I had the attention span to do that, if I didn't feel like such shit that I could actually do something. And just like play a game or be on the computer or watch Netflix and order something and then do it again and again and again. In the weekends, I would just be so fucking tired, I wouldn't want to do anything. If that's you, your New Year's resolution being to go to the gym 4 days a week and overhaul your whole diet on January 1st, it's probably just not going to happen unless you have a really specific reason to do so. Unless you're at such a rock bottom that you're willing to change everything right now, it's probably not going to happen, right? So when you're overhauling too much at once, it overwhelms your system, your body, and your mind. You get intense cravings if you don't have the mental fortitude or a reason to work through those, like a reason that's so in your face, like you're having a severe medical issue and it's now or never, you're going to die if you don't figure it out right now. If you don't have that level of intensity to bring to it, keeping in mind, again, that's a very oorah, masculine, army, marine, military way of looking at things. Most people that listen to this podcast are 65% of you, about 2/3 are women over 40, right? So maybe a little less connected to that. It's not going to work. If you're not at a rock bottom, you're probably not going to be able to overhaul your whole life unless the reason's really strong. So change things a little slower. Start with healthier eating and then move into working on your mindset and then move into moving your body slowly over time, starting with short walks and then just building week by week and have a system that tracks it, that doesn't suck, where you can see that you're improving and actually building sustainable lifestyle changes. This is what the common sense diet system is. I built it for you and I built it for myself. When you overhaul too much at once, you're probably not going to make it. If you could, unless you're in a different situation now than you were before, you would have already done it because you've already tried overhauling everything at once. I wish someone fucking sat me down, said, Nick, you've already tried this. You've already tried this. This is not going to work for you. Say that to yourself. Go look in the mirror. And tell yourself, overhauling everything all at once is not going to work. We're not looking to hit our weight loss goal in the first 2 months. We're looking to build routine and rhythm in the first 2 months. Feel the difference between those things. Part of the issue with New Year's resolutions is that it might take you longer than 1 year to lose all the weight. And that's not something that you want to hear when you're fat. You know, that you might lose 1 to 2 pounds a week and you have 120 to lose. You're not going to hit that in a year. Right? And well, that doesn't make sense because last year on this diet, I lost 7 pounds in the first week. Yeah, but you gained it back, you know? It's like, and that's the fat mind. And when I'm recording these podcasts, I just imagine I'm talking to my old self. So when you hear me change tonalities, it's like, that's me talking to my old self. Nick, you gained the fucking weight back. I know I did, but it feels good to lose 7 pounds in a week. Yeah, but you feel like shit 2 weeks after. Like, zoom out, look at what's happening in your own life. How would you advise yourself? If you said fuck the whole like New Year's thing, if you had 2 years to work with yourself, how would you build that out over time? And it requires some accountability. It just does. That leads us into the next one. The reason why New Year's resolutions fail is you have no accountability. You have no accountability to yourself, Fat Nick. You have no accountability to yourself. Self-accountability is a requirement for keeping the weight off. One of the best ways to build self-accountability is to become accountable to other people, like working with someone that's already done it or getting in a community of people that have a shared goal, shared mission. That's a great step to learning group accountability and also teaching yourself self-accountability in the process. Self-accountability is one of the most important skills ever. The two things that, if you want to change your life, the two things to do is develop self-accountability and develop a strong imagination, because you'll be able to see yourself as healthy and then start living that way, be able to hold yourself accountable to the actions that you know you should be taking, but you're just not, you can't figure out why. It starts with working on the mind, right? Notice how almost all these things we're talking about are mindset related. It's because sustainable weight loss is less about what you eat, more about why you're eating it and how you feel about yourself. No diet's going to save you if you don't feel worthy of being fit. The way to feel worthy of being fit is to make yourself feel worthy of being fit by doing the things a fit and healthy person would do. Rewind that 15 seconds and play that a couple times. Let that hypnotize you. Adopt that as your truth and watch how fast your life changes. The last one is the reason why New Year's resolutions fail is because we have no emotional connection to the goal. Meaning, I want to lose 50 pounds in 2025, but I don't know why. Well, the reason why, I do know why. It's because I want to look better and I want to feel better. Why do I want to look better and feel better? Because I want to live longer. Why do you want to live longer? The reality is I want to look better and I want to feel better. It's not going to be enough to get you out of bed in the morning. It's just not. When you're waking up at 6:30 to go walk or make a healthy breakfast, you're not sitting there going, I want to look better, I want to feel better. It's just not enough to make you actually change. So we've got to go a little bit deeper to something that sparks emotion in us. I want to lose weight. I have full episodes on this, right? Go and look back maybe 5 or 6 episodes ago. There's a podcast all about life mission, purpose, and why. So I can talk about this for hours, but if you do not have an emotional connection to the goal, that means the goal is not real. Maybe you want to lose 50 pounds because you feel like you should, but you don't know why. Because I'd look better, feel better. How would that really change anything if you feel better? Oh, because I'd make more money. Why do you want to make more money? Because I'd have a better relationship. Why do you want to have a better relationship? Because I don't feel worthy, and I wake up and I look in the mirror and I feel like absolute dog shit. I feel like dog shit. I don't want to feel like dog shit anymore. I want to smile when I look at myself in the mirror. I'm sick of hating myself. I'm sick of thinking about how fucking different my life would be if I just did this thing that I can't figure out how to do. Feel the passion in that. Feel how much more real that is, and I want to look better. I want to feel better. I want to be a better parent. Why do you want to be a better parent? Because my kids deserve it. Why? What does that have to do with you? I want to know what it's like to be a better parent so that when I look at my kid and tell them they could be anything they want to be, it doesn't feel like I'm lying to them or wondering what they're thinking when they look back at me when I'm fucking 100 pounds overweight. Feel how much more real that is, right? That's an emotional connection. You can hear the difference in the tonality in my voice as I step into the emotion of those were truths for me, right? So you get down to a goal, that an emotional connection to it that's so real that it can almost make you tear up. It can almost make you cry, like you feel it in your chest, in your body. Gets you little tingles when you talk about it out loud, and learn how to speak it. Find that goal, pull out your phone, video yourself saying it, make it your alarm clock in the morning. Record it and set it as your alarm clock. Instead of waking up to that fucking alarm, you wake up to, I deserve to know what it's like to be a healthy, energetic parent that isn't afraid of the future and living in the insecurity of my own body and wondering how different my life would be if I wasn't fat. Set that on repeat 10 times and let that be your alarm clock that you wake up to, and watch your ass get out of bed. Watch your ass make a healthy breakfast. Watch those positive things compound over time throughout the day. In summary of all of this, New Year's resolutions are not necessarily bullshit. You can set a New Year's resolution. You can have goals for the new year that you work on. But the reason why they fail is because you're waiting until January 1st. Your goal's too daunting. Your goal's focused on the outcome, not the action. Your goal's focused on restriction, meaning the things that you are not eating instead of the things that you are eating, or the things that you are not doing instead of the things you are doing. You can't be on the diet that you're choosing forever. You're overhauling too much at once. You have no accountability or no emotional connection to the goal. Whichever one of those you resonate with, pick 2 or 3. You probably resonate with fucking all of them, right? Pick 2 or 3 to focus on, change them. And let that be the framework and the foundation for you setting goals for yourself for 2025. If you would like my help with that and you want to work with me going into 2025 and be a part of our group as well, you can click the link in the description of this episode to fill out the app and book a call with me directly, and we'll talk about it. You absolutely have what it takes to lose weight in 2025. You absolutely have what it takes to get to 2026 and feel really comfortable and feel really confident with your ability to keep the weight off forever. That is absolutely possible. Close your eyes and imagine December of 2026, 2 years from now, you're fully healthy, fit, not fat, you're glowing, your skin looks better. Like, really imagine this, right? And you know for a fact that you will never gain the weight back because you don't think about food all the time and because the system that you live in doesn't suck and you know that you can do it forever. Tap into what that would feel like by saying it, videoing yourself talking about it, closing your eyes and walking around your house as if that is you, and the date is December of 2026. That's what manifestation is. Do that. Feel it. Live like that person. Watch the weight come off. Weight loss is less about what you do, more about who you are. Who are you being? Fuck what you're doing. Who are you being? Are you moving like a healthy person, or are you moving like a fat person? Are you eating like a healthy person, or are you eating like a fat person? Who are you being? And what are you doing are directly connected. You want to lose weight? Be a healthy person. Be a healthy person by doing healthy things. See y'all next week.